What up? And now we are, I was talking to TikTok, but now I'm talking to everybody. Welcome to the Technically Unsound Podcast, Wednesday night edition. We're live. I'm DJ Tommy, and we've got the gang tonight, starting with DJ Infinity. Hello, sir.
What it do? What it do? Glad to be here. Glad to be here. It's nice to be here and forget about everything outside these four walls of the studio.
We got Big E in the 40-degree freezing temperatures of T-Town.
So cold. Got to warm up with a drink.
I second that. He's 2 hours away. Well, 90 minutes according to MGYX, but
30 minutes, really.
Oh, yeah, 30.
Look, just because you slow fuckers don't know how to ride or drive.
Yeah.
You don't ride either, so.
Yet. Trust me. Yes.
Say hello to DJ MGYX, who needs to give us an update on what the status of his electrical conditions are.
I'm so curious.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, my God.
Electricity is restored. That is all.
Kudos to you. What? All right, break it down, though. What happened?
My brother was cheap. One moment.
Yeah. Your brother was cheap. Yeah.
Sorry. That was a fairly large shot I just took there. So
Rogue you.
Yeah, my brother was cheap, and instead of having my brother, by the way, passed several years back, but prior to his passing, he had a stroke and decided he wanted to get one of those left-sided walk-in, sit-down spa tub things. So
he stole it.
I, you know what? That was my question at first. I'm like, who did you jack this from? I honestly thought because he worked at the arena and he's friends with lots of NBA players, I honestly thought when I came to visit, I would walk in and see an ice tub that you see in gyms and, locker rooms. But he got one of the left hand walk-in tubs. But instead of paying the company, I guess, to install it properly, make sure it's up to code, he just called some friends apparently, or hired a handyman. And I guess it worked for a while, and then it just stopped working. So when I came back for the funeral and everything, it never worked. So I never actually got to see this tub work. And decades later, I get here, and Svenny knows I moved to, and all you guys know, I moved here. I pretty much had to do everything myself. So one of the big things I was looking forward to was sitting in a jacuzzi tub and just letting my muscles soak away. Well, that never happened. The tub filled up. Turns out all of the seals around the tub, all of the seals were not sealed. So as I'm filling this tub up to take a bath, it's never really getting up there.
Was it a bubble bath?
No, it's a jacuzzi tub. It's literally a jacuzzi tub. So if you've ever seen
Calgon.
No. This thing is like 4 feet tall. It is literally a sit-down tub. It's a jacuzzi tub. So I'm wondering why this thing is not filling up, and then I finally just say, fuck it. I turn off the water, and I'm still hearing water. Like a water hose. Several water hoses, and the water is going down. And I'm thinking, all right, maybe the seal is bad on the bottom. No, all of the jet holes, I guess, in the side of the tub, none of those fuckers were sealed.
Otherwise
and they were all
known
leaking.
as glory holes.
So after that first weekend, I never really took
maybe they
I
were
never used it
up
for the bath. No. The side panel never lit up, and I didn't worry anything about it. Well, apparently, with the rains and everything we had, and it just got to a point where it kind of leaked through, and the tub has slowly been working its way from the wall, the grout around it's been going out.
So hold on. We're talking about rain, jacuzzis, jets.
Yeah, focused. Listen, stay focused. Stop joking. Stay
I'm not
focused.
joking. I'm trying to focus.
Well, you do. Okay, well, I gave you literally everything in sequence. Basically, this whole thing has been leaking for years, and it leaked onto according to the electrician, a Home Depot 4-port block, I guess, where you could plug in 4 outlets underneath the tub. So it shorted out. And I thought I had smelled some burning from a long time ago, and I thought it was just people smoking weed outside. And when the power went out, I was like, all right, let me go ahead and check the breakers. Like he suggested. All right, first thing I'm doing is checking the breakers. I'm like, oh, well, this one that says tub, one side of it's completely shut off and the other one is halfway. So I was like, I really don't know what that means. Let me go ahead and turn it off, then turn it back on and see what happens. And and as I'm flipping the other ones, making sure they're off, there's one there that says furnace, and it's in the halfway position as well.
Damn,
and I don't want to fuck up the heat. I don't want to fuck up the heat because this is the new furnace that they just installed with the AC that we had to have replaced. So I left it alone. I come back inside and I'm smelling burning electrical wires. So I went outside and made sure the tub breaker was completely off. When I was like, shit, and the tub is right behind me, behind this wall here. So I didn't know if it was something electrical inside the studio, like from the laptop and the lights and everything, or if it was to that bathroom. And I went into the bathroom and pulled the panel off the side, and I could definitely smell burning smoke. So I said,
I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
I don't want to test anything. I'm not an electrician. I don't want to push anything. Half the house had power, and I think this is what I discussed on the show. And he was telling me when they run them in sequence like that, so that you can kind of tag on them. And I had to wait a day and a half for a professional to come out. He came out.
That was Monday, right?
He said, yeah. He took a look and he said, yeah, there was definitely an electrical fire here. He's like, I'm glad you're not hurt. It looks like you unplugged the plugs, because there's where the other plugs lit up, but the 2 electrical plugs that were electrical out, whatever was plugged into 2 of the ports was clean when I unplugged them. He said, so that tells us it's not from those 2 things, but it was from whatever was not plugged in here. So that literally could have been anything. He said, but whatever it is, this has got to go. This is obviously an add-on. And it was like, I could tell this is an add-on because it's not using your existing panel wires. You can see it's plugged in. He's like, this is something that was installed afterwards. I told him everything about the how my brother had it installed. I wasn't here for any of it. He concurred. This was not done professionally. This is done by what he called some hacks.
That's that shit I don't like.
Just to get it done. I then asked him, I was like, is there a way, how much would it cost to get it rewired or to get another circuit put in? So I don't have to worry about this. One side goes out, I could just flip one side. He was like, yeah, minimum, probably like $900 to $1,200. He said he said the permit itself is going to be at least $400. I was like, permit? I was like, what do I need a permit for? I was like, oh no, the power company's got to come out here to make sure that it's up to code and that you're allowed to do this. Then you got to pay somebody to do it. And I was like, well, do you guys work on these tubs? And he was like, yes. I was like, are you sure? He's like, yes. I was like, no. 3 companies have come out here and said that they work on them, and then they turn out they don't. He's like, I will tell you definitively, yes. I helped a dude with wiring with one last week. It was like he was doing like a reinstall and a maintenance and stuff. He was like, yes, we do it. I was like, okay. He's like, well, I could give you his number. I was like, no. If I have you come out here, it's going to be to rip this thing out entirely. And if your plumbing division will install like just a generic Home Depot kind of a shower panel that you put up, I was like, I may look at paying for that, but that'll probably be around income tax time. He's like, yeah, we could definitely do that. He was like, if you're not going to, he's like, you sure you don't want to use that? Those are pretty cool. I was like, no. I was like, I never want to see this thing again. And I was like, I can buy a shower unit from Home Depot for about $1,500. I can upgrade and get the one with the sitting bench in it. I was like, but I can reclaim about 8 square feet by ripping this tub out, because you lose 6 inches against one wall, another 6 on another, and 4 on another, just with the tub itself. So you lose space out of your bathroom. I was like, I'd rather just have a regular, just walk up, shower. I can put a seat in it if I want. I was like, but I'd rather just be able to take a shower comfortably. And I was like, yeah, we can come out and do that. I was like, is everything good with the electrical? I don't have to worry about anything. He's like, no. He said, I'm just going to go ahead and disconnect it here. I was like, how about you disconnect it outside? I was like, I don't ever want someone to come over here and accidentally flip that breaker and have the same thing happen. He was like, yeah, I can do that for you. So he pulled the panel off. Kind of like what E told me. He was like, you just pull it off, and he unscrewed the thing, broke it out. He's like, yep, see, here's the wires for this. Somebody had something else installed here. That's not here anymore. He pulled the whole breaker switch off and popped it back on. He was like, I can't really charge you for anything. I really didn't do anything at all. He was like, just pay the $80 diagnostic fee, and here's my card.
Nice.
Like, let me know what you want to do later. I was like, thank you. He was like, you look like this is a big relief. I was like, he was like, why didn't you just take a shower in the other room? I was like, I don't give a fuck about that. I was like, that side of the house has the modem, the internet, my workstation for work, everything. He's like, He's like, all right, yeah, you should be all good to go. So that was it. I ended up calling off an entire day of work just for that. But hey, house isn't on fire.
All right. Hey, Cremo, if you are watching, I don't believe there's a new link. Hold on. He's messaging me about something.
I can't get my microphone to work.
I mean, it's hard to know if there's a new link. We haven't switched links.
I think he's been on since we've had this link.
I thought so too.
Yes.
It should be the one that has 200 and push on it, and then his name.
I mean, even if he uses the old link, he'll still come into the room. He just won't have a label. Because he'll show up in here, but he may not show up in OBS. No.
Yeah. Well, he needs to come in on the right link because I've got scenes built.
Alexa, stop.
Yeah.
So if he comes in on the wrong link, he's not going to appear to our Tech-Tuppers. He'll just be there for us.
Hey, I had a question about that. I don't know if it's something we want to discuss here, because would you be able to create forwarding links off of our domain name versus our individual URLs for Ninja? So in other words, we would go to the Technically Unsound Podcast.com /123's link, ABC's link, and have it simply direct us. So that way, if we do change, or if you need to make changes, you don't have to send out 4 individual links. We will always have the same link to click on, and our individual URL will just take us there.
Forwarding. I mean, I would have to create a site, because I don't have a website on that domain right now.
But see, that's the thing. You wouldn't need a site. You would do it in your DNS settings. Or
no, I mean, I'm already forwarding Technically Unsound to YouTube.
Correct. But see, if you can create CNAME and ANAME records, so that, for instance, you can have mail.liquidheaven.com goes to a different URL than the regular liquidheaven.com. That's what I was saying. Would you?
So you're talking about create subdomains?
Yeah, basically subdomains that go to the individual's URL. So that way we never have to worry about whether or not we're clicking on the updated link with the correct push settings or whatever.
The most technically unsound thing to do
I don't see that happen.
Is to save it on your bookmarks bar. And if you're logged into Google, you can get to it from anywhere. Aha.
That is the down aspect, because that doesn't change if he changes the link.
Yeah, so when he sends it, you replace it. Easy.
Okay. Well,
But if he changes a setting, those ands and pushes and 200 and pro audio, that all changes with your settings. So I don't see it working the way I think you're talking about.
because what I'm saying is, for instance, let's just use my domain name, djmagix.net. I can create a subdomain that says infinity.djmagix.net. So Infinity only has to bookmark infinity.djmagix.net. If I need to change push settings for anything, or if I need to change the labeling for anything, or if I decide we're going to use what was the other one we used before?
Wait, is this something you do right now? Do you use this right now?
Oh, on one of my other domain names, yes.
Through Ninja.
But not.
No.
I don't use it for Ninja. I use it for the other aspects of my domain name.
Because I feel like
Tom, if
Ninja has a lot of things involved that I think would not make that easy.
No, you don't change anything on Ninja. You're just changing how you get to the website.
But
So in other words, if I give you a Ninja link right now, okay, you got to bookmark that. If I make changes to, if I change the push settings, I change the room name, I change anything like that, you've got to save a new bookmark. But if I give you a domain, if I give you a web address of bige.djmagix.net, that's all you have to save. I do all the other work in the background. So if I change the push from 200 to 720 to 1080, if I have 60 frames a second, if I do a conversion on it, you don't have to save a new bookmark. You just go to bige.djmagix.net. You never have to change anything.
And that's something GoDaddy allows that for free, subdomains?
Yeah. You can do a subdomain, billions or hundreds of subdomains on a domain name. You don't have to have a hosting site on it.
Okay. I mean, I'll log in and see if I can figure it out. I've never tried. I don't think I've tried to do like a custom subdomain aside from like the built-in stuff, like you were saying, mail and pop and SMTP and whatever.
I don't see it that way because I don't think
they're doing it anymore. Because
so we went through all that just to find out it doesn't work anymore.
No. What I was saying is I don't think they do the mail, because before, if you went to mail, whatever, if it was hosted at GoDaddy, it would go to the GoDaddy email. But because they changed over to Office, it doesn't go there anymore. You have to. It only works if you are hosting your own mail server within GoDaddy services.
See, what you did there is you reduced your credibility. You could have not told us any of that, and we would have been fine. But then you told us that. No, maybe they don't. Maybe they don't do that anymore.
No, never mind.
But
yes, this is me giving up on it.
E for effort.
Looks like
forget I mentioned it.
But I will look into that other thing you talked about, and if it works, yay. And if not, then we just continue on with the just complicated, painful way we do it now. Of having a bookmark.
Of saving a link.
Couple clicks.
I understand that, but look where we're at right now. Someone can't click that link. I'm just saying.
You gotta click the link.
Go stick your head out the window and yell down the street for them.
Yeah, because that's how close we are.
I don't
Tucson's small, right? Everybody lives on the same street.
It's probably 10 degrees warmer where he is.
Oh, I guarantee
it. I don't know where he lives, so that's why I was like, I don't know how far apart you guys are.
Us?
No, Biggie and Cremo.
Oh.
Well, I think in a nutshell, one of them lives north of Davis Monthan and one of them lives south of it.
And very far east.
Gotcha.
10 minutes.
Yeah, well, MGYX has had a lot to say today. Oh, what else is going on? Oh, hold on. Let me bring up my PowerPoint because I had some screenshots from the shit happening out in Los Angeles.
Yeah, the fires are crazy.
Look at that.
Man, that shit is.
Look at this fucking alcoholic. Look at this on fire. Game night.
That's not. Yeah, that's not.
It's about to be on fire.
Hold on.
I know that Elon had a lot to say about this, and I could give a fuck less about his opinion, but it's a loud one.
Well, they were talking about there's no water in the fire hydrants.
Yeah, that's what he was saying
And
about what their source.
Yeah, it looks like at one point a lot of water used to flow throughout California.
Mm-hmm.
And some part of the problem, from what I was just hearing, is a few years ago, maybe decades, I don't know how long ago it was, they needed to preserve a rare fish, like a little fish that was on the verge of extinction. Yep. So they diverted water from Northern California into the Pacific Ocean.
Damn.
To save a little fish.
Yep.
Why is everyone so fucking stupid?
Yeah, fuck the fish.
This map
you got people now that, and there's always these, like, they're talking about rationing water. They're talking about, Arizona's in the middle of the desert and they don't have these kind of water problems.
Yeah, and they're next to the fucking ocean and they have crazy amounts of water problems.
This straight looks like a map out of what was the movie with the guy that played James Bond? The Inferno movie. Volcanic Inferno, where LA was on fire and lava literally is going down the same pathway as this map.
No idea which one you're talking about.
There's I think it's Dante's Inferno. That's what it is. Yeah. This is crazy. I've been getting pings over like, mandatory evacuation. I was like, it can't be that bad.
Shit. Right. Have you seen the pictures from inside of people's houses?
Yeah, it's pretty, yeah.
It is that bad.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
it's in the city.
That sucks.
But my question is, why is this happening like every year or two in some areas?
California is just like that. That's what Rogan talked about. That clip's been going around because he literally just talked about it last week when someone asked him why he left. And he's like, the thing that put the nail in the coffin was some expert guy that told him, hey, all it's going to take is some wind that doesn't want to stop at some point in time. And that something to catch fire, and it's going to take out all of LA.
They've said that a couple of times, especially when they had harsh Santa Ana winds. Like all it takes is and those are like hot ass winds that just blow for high rates of speed. And it's like, you motherfuckers never learn.
It's a coastal region. There's going to be wind. It's just whatever's starting these. So I don't know.
Oh, starting them is everything. Shit. Look at my house. It's electrical fires. It's literally shit like that.
Your house was like duct taped together for a damn jacuzzi. Not the whole. Like, I'm not trying to be funny, but...
So I talked to that guy, the electrician, about things. He was like, "Hey," he's like, "I see you got a couple of space heaters." He's like, "We don't recommend those on."
The ones that were already recalled that you didn't want to turn back. Yeah.
No, these are different space heaters.
Okay.
It was like he was like, we don't recommend space heaters on non-dedicated circuits. I was like, they will draw in power and the electrical cords will get hot. Like if you feel your power cord on your heater getting hot, you need to unplug it. It's drawing too much current in, and that will, cause a fire in your outlet. And he said the lady that I called when I set up the appointment mentioned something, and this is why I didn't just flip all the breakers back on. She was like, if you get an electrical fire, you're not going to know that it's going on until it's too late.
Yeah.
Like it is a slow burn along the wires. That's just a burning, glowing ember that's slowly creeping along until it finally catches some dust, some insulation, some whatever. And then it's going to spark a flame. And that's when you're going to start noticing it.
Yeah, you
I
need
was
like a
like, oh,
floor
shit.
camera to see the temperature change.
Yeah,
So-
but Los Angeles, there's no excuse for Los Angeles not having water in the fire hydrants for firefighters. Because I mean you can see the ocean in that picture right there.
Yeah.
And the fire goes right up to it.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
The reason I don't think you can use salt water for residential fires. I think because of the damage that salt water would do and the amount that's used. So like if you
So
I think
just let the house burn down so you don't damage it with salt water.
Well, it's that and the surrounding areas. You're basically just putting salt water on everything. You're causing massive corrosion on shit. But hey, I don't know. That's just something I heard a long time ago because I wondered, I was like, why don't they just put pumps in the ocean to use for municipal things like that? And they're like, well, it's salt water. It's like you can't do that.
Well, they can.
I don't know.
They can take the salt out of the water. It's just expensive to do so.
Yeah, the desalinations and
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess what Elon and even Joe Rogan talks about this all the time, but this whole thing with the way California is run, like they've known that this is a problem, and every year, like Infinity was saying, every year there's some kind of either outburst of wildfire or just fires that they can't control. And I don't think this one is, I think this one was still at zero containment as of a couple hours ago, last time I checked. But
I think one of the things is also look at a lot of these houses that I've seen, like in the nicer areas, they're pretty big houses, but they got a lot of foliage around them. That's just fuel for fires. Like, take your old house, and that's the thing. They put up trees and shit like that to keep it private, which is understandable. But that's also a trail of fuel to go from one house to the next, to the next, to the next. And did anybody else hear that echo?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which makes it very difficult to stop. I don't know if I took pictures or not, but the water park next to the clubhouse caught on fire, and it started in one bush. Like, we noticed it, like we were coming in for a meeting or something. We saw somebody out there fucking around with one bush. And we're like, oh, it's just, the circus or whatever had just been in there, probably just burning shit. That one bush caught one palm tree on fire. That palm tree went up and caught like 5 others. Next thing you know, the entire water park is on fire. And it just jumped from tree to tree to tree. And the problem with that is unless you're on top of the trees, you can't see it. You can't see it because they're so thick because of privacy. So it's shitty. It's unfortunate, but I mean,
so
what can you do?
I think what some of the concern is that people in California keep voting for the same people, right? That don't fix these problems.
Talking about Gavin Newsom?
Yeah, they focus on other things. Like they focus on social issues and not like just, you got to have your framework in place. Like you got to have good roads. You got to have power, because there's always the blackouts and the brownouts, with the electricity every year. And then you got the water issues now and the fires that can't be put out. So like you just have basic things. I think there's like a hierarchy of solving problems. Like you got to have your infrastructure, you got to have your basics in place. Then you can worry about like your level 2 stuff. I think the level 1 stuff is just food, shelter, and all that kind of stuff, roads. And then
I think the problem with that they run into is, hell, look at the screen. You don't have Joe's 6-pack on there. These are all, you're asking them to fix an infrastructure for people that make more money than any of us would make in our lifetimes. So you're asking them to fix that while the rest of the state struggles on a regular day-to-day basis. They can't afford groceries. Yet you want us to fix it so that your $1 billion house doesn't burn down every year. You got to, and I understand that it has to be fixed, but I think it's one of those, like somebody explained to me once before when I said we should just tear down the government, have a civil war, and restart everything to wipe the slate clean. I think you're beyond that point of being able to wipe the slate clean. I honestly think, hey, it's LA. Fuck it, let it happen.
Well, maybe that's what's
All these
happening.
people got $1 billion in insurances, and, fix the rest of the state. And then once make sure the rest of the state, is surviving, make sure they can use water for basic necessities, not charging your Tesla or your Bentleys or anything else, not making sure that you have lights around your 5-acre compound, but make sure everybody around you, the regular old people who don't make that money, make sure that they're taken care of. And then, if there's time left over, work on the billionaire shit. Because most of these people that are on the screen probably have multiple houses.
Right. Is that the problem with the politicians? Is they want Steven Spielberg to be happy, right? They don't want Steven Spielberg to be pissed at him. So they focus on his problems and not everyday people who are struggling.
I on the flip side, I hate to I hate to play devil's advocate here, but some of these people, they're losing like personal possessions that can't be replaced. Doesn't matter how much money you have when somebody's like entire life of memories and shit like that goes up in flames because that's their main house. You got to have some kind of sympathy and empathy for that. These people have tons of money and can do whatever, but yet they're still on TikTok talking about how and showing how upset they are about their house that they've lived in for however long, and all of their family and prized possessions are there, and it goes up in flames. It's like, that's still pretty fucked up.
Who are you devil's advocate to? That's facts.
It just sounded like MGYX was saying, they got plenty of money, so they should be fine.
I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying, yes, it sucks that they're going to lose personal items, but other people around them lose personal items every day. You don't see them on the news. You don't see them making the headlines.
Well,
you
they're
don't see them
celebrities.
call for.
I think the problem.
So of course you're going to see them on.
I think the problem with the whole
they're a regular person.
The problem with letting it all burn down is the celebrities are the ones like Big E was saying. The celebrities can just get in their jets, fly to Florida, fly to New York. Your everyday people can't do that. They're kind of stuck, right? So if you let it all burn down, they're the ones who suffer, not the celebrities, right? The celebrities aren't going to suffer. They're just going to they're just going to go to their other house for 6 months until everything's fixed.
I guarantee you the regular person isn't living right next to Michael Keaton. All the areas that you're looking at there are high-end areas. What I'm saying is make sure the surrounding people, preventive maintenance, you got a fire, it's not contained. Contain it. Make a containment area. Try and contain it at the level where, hey, it's not going to affect billions of people. Right now, it's affecting Eugene Levi, Ben Affleck, Steven Spielberg. I understand that they may have a lot of shit there. Evacuate. You can have trucks come in, pull that shit out. Half of them probably got private helicopters that could come do that shit as well. What I'm saying is the surrounding neighborhoods that have your everyday working person who can't flee, those are the neighborhoods that you need to set up a containment around, because guess what? You lose one Ben Affleck, but you lose 200 to 500 regular people.
But if the fire is going through these people's properties, it's going to get to those people. So they got to stop it where it's happening. The fire doesn't give a shit who's there.
Yeah, there's trailer parks peppered throughout this picture, right? They're just not showing those people's names because they're not famous. Like this picture here is not just rich and famous people. Those are just the ones who are highlighted, right? This is probably a picture of 1.5 million residents. A bird's eye view.
And again, you still have to set up a containment area first. Focus on containing it.
I mean, I feel like they're probably trying to do the best they can to contain this crazy ass fire. I don't think that they're not thinking of these things.
Well, they're saying that there's no water coming out of the fire hydrants, so I don't know what they're doing. What are they like putting blankets on the shit? You know, I know that they've got the DC-10, I think, dropping water bombs.
Yeah, there's a lot of airdrops that they do that. I mean, hell, if they hadn't drained the massive lake that took up Central California, they could have just done it from there. And there were people that I saw online, and I can't say it's true. There are a lot of people that are saying, because a lot of stories were popping up about that big ass lake that was in the middle of California. A lot of people were saying that California catches on fire because that lake was drained out, and it's just a lot of extra vegetation around there that helps fuel these fires. But I know water drops. Maybe if it's uncontainable like that, maybe you should say, you know what, fuck it. Fuck the possible corrosion damage that's going to pop up 5 to 10 years from now, and start using the ocean as your water source to get it flowing back in there. Although I don't know if fire hydrant water is potable water or not. I don't know. I don't know if that affects, if that's the same part of the same water source as.
I can tell you right now, it's not. It's not.
Okay.
And that fish smelt.
Well, anyway, some of the TikToks.
It's like your hand.
And I know we're seeing the TikToks where it's crazy because these people aren't leaving, right? They're not leaving their houses until the very last minute. Like there's this one where this guy is like standing in his house and like the flames in his driveway, like it's like burning his shed, and he's still in his house. And it's crazy to think, you know, like you don't know what to do. You know, some people don't have anywhere to go, and you just try to save what you can and hope that fire takes a detour. But once it gets that close, I don't know. You just got to survive. Well, hopefully there's not too many fatalities. I think there's been 2 fatalities so far. But, I mean, as bad as this looks, that number is probably going to go up. So hopefully people are being as safe as possible. And if they can evacuate, you know, get to safety. Because that thing is moving. They said in the past few hours, it just exploded in like coverage. Like it was just expanding because the wind was so bad today, like 80-mile-per-hour winds. And it was moving so fast. You know, it was like the fire department didn't even know what to do. Next. I know I got another one. I got another heated topic too. Oh, here's our daily billionaire check. Same old people.
Yeah, I saw you do some of this on Sunday. I just couldn't react fast enough because you know where I was. Elon was over 500 about a month and a half ago.
Yeah, I know the last time we looked at this, I don't remember when it was, maybe earlier in the year. I think him and Jeff Bezos were swapping places every other week at around 220.
Yeah, Bezos was still not that close. Elon, like I want to say November, December was in the low 5s.
Yes, I don't know what was going on.
He could give away, I forget the numbers. He could give away like some stupid amount of money each time that he would never go broke and still be able to like do so much for millions of people if he wanted to.
Now, a lot of that money they say is just in stock valuation. Like it's not real money in his bank account.
But stock, if
he would have to sell that stock.
Crash the bank. Well, banks don't have it. It's not that much money printed.
And I think that's probably the case with a lot of these guys, where it's their value of their stock holdings that puts them.
It definitely is. And not just stocks either. The other companies, like if he sold SpaceX or X, Twitter, whatever the fuck it is this week, that would all affect it.
Did you see that thing about that speech from Zuckerberg that Facebook was getting rid of fact checkers.
Yeah, I saw that for their AI.
And they're going to switch to community notes.
Try to follow after Elon, Lord Elon, which I think is a horrible idea because community notes can be just as biased as well. I mean, people are biased.
Yeah,
but
there's always going to be bias.
There is, but damn.
But the fact checkers were way left. That was the problem with Facebook is there was it was very obvious. Community notes, I guess you can have bad community notes. Like you can just have incorrect notations made.
I haven't been on Facebook in forever, but all I see is politics. Like the first thing you said was way left, and then some of it's way right, and then some of it is this.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of both sides, but I think the fact checkers were going after the right. The fact checkers were going after the right.
What I'm saying is it's all political. It's not like the social media of, hey, I'm just out here hanging out, and I call it anti-social media because if I'm sitting here, I could be whoever the fuck I want to be, and so could anybody else on here and anybody else. But at the same time, it's how would you word it? It's political. At the end of the day, there's no billionaire that's not involved in politics. There's no billionaire that's got clean hands. Doesn't matter.
I was pretty lucky. I mean, I don't go on Facebook too much other than to like, now I've just been posting links to this podcast, but I don't post anything else. But
yeah, either way, it still has politics involved. It's not just people hanging out. And if you think about it, like Facebook and all that stuff and MySpace, that's how people got their careers started musically.
Right.
A lot of the top 100 for 10 years was based on that because people liked it and they went directly to it. And it had nothing to do with any politician, any side, any president, ex-president, none of that. It was just, oh, I like this song. I'm going to like it. Click it. Go to it.
Did you see that Dana White is on the board of directors at Meta now?
Yeah.
I did.
Where?
Meta.
Yeah, that should be interesting.
Yeah.
If anybody's looking for a new computer anytime soon, NVIDIA is putting out a computer called Digits.
Yeah, about that.
So I guess it's supposed to, I don't know when this thing comes out, but what's that electronic show? CES Vegas?
Yeah.
So that just happened.
Show. Yep.
So everybody's debuting all their up and coming stuff.
Just this week, actually.
Yep.
This week / last week.
I actually sent you guys a TikTok about something from there.
I saw that.
Yeah, the TV.
In the thing?
In our group in TikTok.
Oh, TikTok.
Yeah. That's the one with the suction cups on the back, right?
Yeah.
I gotta look at that. I saw it pop up, but I've been dealing with so much today.
Totally wireless, battery powered.
Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty dope. I just wonder
the suction cup thing is crazy, though.
Yeah.
Like suction cup to drywall? That is weird.
What? I'll look at it.
Yeah, you have to watch it because the way they show the installation, because I went and looked at another video on YouTube about it, and yeah, they do an installation of the TV on drywall.
That's easy to do, but
they suction cup it using suction cups. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because you don't have to use any mounting equipment or damage to the wall.
Yeah, it's got to spread out that weight somehow. I'll definitely check that out.
Yeah, that's NVIDIA trying to jump in there.
Oh, it ain't trying.
Well, I know NVIDIA is already like one of the biggest movers lately on the stock market.
Well, their AI and the GPUs. So people are using their GPUs for AI, which I don't put them up there. And GPUs are a lot cheaper to make than a CPU.
Yeah, because they were just, were they debuting the 5000 series at CES?
Yeah.
I saw that.
Starting price of $3,000.
I mean, if you think about it, 10 years ago, our studios would be over 10,000, each one of us.
Yeah.
The cheapest studio in this video would still be over 10K. So that's not surprising at all. Hello.
Just Rihanna. You know, why not?
Yes. There's nothing else to say. Just, yes.
Hello.
Hey, everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party. So
You know, I check TMZ for important news and stuff, and I saw this story and I thought this is important.
I saw this on Instagram.
Let's share this.
I don't even know what this article is about, but I know what I see.
I don't think I read any words. I just Zendaya.
Yeah, I saw that.
They're engaged. What's funny is there were just rumors last week that she was like with some other dude.
She's been pretty, like, she keeps a lot of shit to herself, so.
Yeah. Keeps her private life private.
She's really fucking young, too. She's, what, 22 maybe?
She looks, well, she's looking a little older here. Like she's starting to become more womanly.
Look at her hands. That's what you have to tell.
That's all makeup and shit. But
wrinkly fingers.
Really young.
Is that what you're talking
That's
about?
Why, hey, if it worked for Ray Charles, look at her hands.
Ray Charles measured the wrist.
I know that, but look at the hands.
I'm good.
That's how you tell.
If I can be her dad, I'm not interested.
What the hell?
Ariana, just looking a little too skinny. Way too skinny. I ain't even gonna front.
You stop Botoxing.
Ariana Flacco.
That hair is bad. That hair is bad.
I don't know what phase she's going through right now, but man, go back to the a few years back where everything was all good. Like
you're sponsored by a gas station. What? Where are you? What the fuck? Marco, AM PM. I pump gas for you.
Yeah, this to me is a concerning look. Her friends should probably step in. Friends and family of Ariana, say something. Come on. This ain't.
I don't know who Sherry is, but she is active right now. She said she is 32 but looks 11. And I have to agree with that. I have to agree with that. Like she looks sick. I got nothing against smaller chicks, but she doesn't look healthy.
I've only known one person that naturally looked that way when they were 11.
Yeah, me too. But if you're 32 and looking 11, that's a whole different issue.
Bitch, you need a hamburger.
I knew that was coming.
Need a double.
Need a miracle.
This, Twitch passed away. It's been a couple years now, I think. But I guess they're still like uncovering information. I guess they found a bunch. See, this, sometimes I don't know if this is real. Like, so now they're saying they found a cornucopia of drugs he had hidden. Mushrooms, pills, and other substances.
One of the co-stars, or like one of the cast members of So You Think You Can Dance, put a fucking ginormous long post about this because she believes that the wife is pretty much slandering him with everything that she talked about in this some kind of interview, I think for People or something, and she's basically like just trashing him with everything she talked about with him. And the post was crazy long, but it made a lot of sense. And she went in on the wife, who was part of So You Think You Can Dance as well, I believe.
And I wonder if like there's pressure on her to do that. Like, is somebody telling her to do that to like maybe like make it look like, like he was a troubled person? Or was he a troubled person? Or was he just mixed up with the wrong people?
Yeah.
Anything is possible.
Yeah, I mean, just because you go through some shit.
How many parties did he attend?
Look at the chat.
I'm looking at TikTok. I'm not on the YouTube chat.
Yeah, so, well, shout out to Twitch. Rest in peace. I don't know if we'll ever figure out what happened. The truth, at least.
Yeah.
I don't know who they are, but death is still not a good thing.
Yep.
Here's Magic's thing.
this always comes up every couple months. I always see this conversation about tipping, and I feel like tipping is becoming like this Gen Z thing of entitlement.
Tipping is only big in the States. Outside the States, tipping is almost like frowned upon.
Yeah, and
Because
even in the
it's part of your meal.
States, it's evolved in the States. Like it used to be, you knew if you gave bad service, you're probably going to get either no tip or a bad tip. But now you see these servers complain that they got a bad tip
Legally,
and they
only
gave
gotta
bad
make,
service.
$3-4 or something if they collect tips. I don't know the law now, but they don't have to make like minimum wage. It's like a couple dollars an hour.
Yeah.
And then the tips is figured into their income, which
Right.
I never agreed to, but that's what it's been.
Yeah, I mean, I waited tables decades ago and that's how it was.
I was a
shit, I'm
busboy,
not on
and
the
they had to
I'm not
split their
screen
tips.
sharing on YouTube. My bad, everybody.
Oh,
Hold on.
damn.
It's because I'm watching TikTok. It's too much going on. There we go.
That's when you need
I know.
a remote director.
That's very possible.
Let's see if it's there now. Thanks
Gotcha.
for the heads up, Sherry. Appreciate you.
Do I know her? Do we know her? You know her, but
I do. Nobody else does.
I know she's been a former guest or anything. That's all.
No. If I get bad service, I'll probably tip, but it's going to be low.
Yeah, I mean that's what tipping used to be, right? It was based on the service.
If it was really bad, though, it would be nothing. It used to be if the service was really bad, your order was wrong, things could happen, whatever. And sometimes if the food's made wrong, I won't blame the waitress or waiter. I know the kitchen messes up too. But if there's no empathy and any of that stuff from the server, the tip might be zero. At least in the old days it would. But now I'd probably still tip. I don't know.
It used to be like an above and beyond thing. Like, okay, you made your money, you did this, but my drink was never empty. My plates were always taken. So you went above and beyond. Here's some extra money. That's what it used to
Did you ever get the guy that would put like a $20, it was like 21s on the table
and subtract?
at the hut, and he would subtract it as the meal went along?
I don't think I got that guy.
Oh, me and my daughter's
You
mom
may have
used to
been
do that,
at
but we
the-
didn't put the money on the table. We just like started off at a point and it could go up or down. That was up to them. But we didn't put the money on the table. That's kind of fucked up. That's some mafia
No,
shit.
there was a guy at the other one, not at Kevin's, but at the one that we moved to, that he would do that. And I was like, oh, well, like what is that out there for? I was like, well,
Motivation.
looks like he's been a tip. Yeah, basically motivation. I personally, go ahead.
No, you finish. I thought you were done. That's why I started saying something.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, does anybody have like an actual structure that they use when they're out there? And as like, do you have a base amount that you would tip for good service, and then an amount you might go above and beyond with if they were like fantastic and everything was great?
I do, but it kind of depends on the bill. If I'm going to a $50 a plate restaurant, that's not the same tip as Red Lobster.
Okay.
So, if
Is it
everything
more or
is-
less?
if I feel if a $50 a plate restaurant, it's more because I expect more. If I plan on getting out of there for $10 a person, I'm not going to tip you like it's a $100 a person, please.
That also goes up with percentages for the total bill, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes, it does. Absolutely.
yeah.
But like I said, that's one of the things in the States. So, okay, let's say me, my daughter, and her mom, we go somewhere and the bill's 150. I'm not starting at 20 and going up or down. That's just not. I shouldn't be there if I'm starting at 20.
Yeah.
I should have rethought my life before I even went in there. That's just my opinion. But if the plates are cleared at a decent time, my drink's full, I don't run out of water, like my mixed drink, whatever. But if I don't run out of water and shit, okay, I'm going to give you some money because you're here for a reason. They hired you for a reason and you're doing your job very well. Now, however, if I go here and I'm getting the same service as Chick-fil-A, you're not going to do so well out of my pocket.
Yeah.
What happens if you go to Red Lobster
good service, though.
and
That'd
they
be
give
tough.
you the same? Well, what if you go to Red Lobster and they give you the same service? The waiter gives you the same attention and service as a $50 plate restaurant. You're basically saying you're not going to get that.
No, I don't have a minimum. I have no problem pulling an extra 20 out or adding it to whatever. I have no problem with that whatsoever.
No, but you just said you're not going to start at 20. So you're saying that you could get a waiter at Red Lobster that is going to make the exact same amount of tip that you would pay the $50 a plate restaurant.
No, what I'm saying is if my bill's 150, I'm starting in a different place than if my bill is 50.
But the tip is not based on your tip. You're tipping your waiter, your server.
Correct.
That's what I'm saying. What you're stating is if you work at Red Lobster, you are never going to get the same level of tip that you would get from a $50 plate restaurant.
That's
But that, I mean, that all comes down to the percentages too, right? I mean, unless you're doing an outlandish amount, it depends on the percentage of the bill. Huh?
That's what I'm trying. He said there's no minimum amount. He said he's not going to start out at $20. You know, if the tip starts at $20,
there's no maximum.
Okay, I guess I'm confused on it.
I'm not going to tip you $100. That's just not going to happen.
So it's all based on where you eat at then.
Say again?
So you're basically saying your tipping is based on where you eat, not the service you receive.
Well, that's part of the percentage that we were talking about a second ago. Some of it is percentage, yes. Some of it is the service. I expect a different level of service from Salt Bay than I do from Red Lobster. I hope that makes sense because it's like, okay,
it makes sense in one way direction. It makes sense, but it doesn't make sense in the other direction.
What
basically
doesn't make sense in the other direction?
This coming from the guy who doesn't want to tip anybody.
Mine's completely different. I never said I wouldn't tip anyone.
You said it in the past.
I have said I'm not going to tip for me going up there and doing the work for you.
So the wing spot down the street, there's an option for a tip. Would you give them the same tip as a sit-down meal? There's an option for a tip for carryout.
No, I'm not going to tip you for me coming in and picking up an order. You put in no work.
But it's
did
on
nothing. There. I don't give a fuck if it's on there.
Well, you're just contradicting your own point, though.
No, I'm not. That is picking up a carryout order is not the same as a sit-down restaurant. If I sat down in that same restaurant and ate, then they get a tip. There is a server or a waiter putting in work. I was a waiter as well.
Still doing their job, right?
They are putting in work. They are coming to my plate, making sure my drink is full, making sure my plates are cleared. They are working. If I go up there, the waiter is doing nothing. The cashier is saying, okay, your order is ready. Thank you. That's
it. That's racist, sir.
Out. I'm never because I'm referring to the Chinese restaurant, but I'm probably going to go to that. I'm not going to tip them for a order.
Who can speak a Chinese?
I'm not gonna go to a fast food restaurant. I think it is Chipotle. I'm not gonna go to Chipotle, place an order in line, be checked out, and then ask to tip the person, the cook line. I'm not gonna tip them.
Oh, see, I think so. I mean, a lot of people have gone places and been like, hey, you know, this was exceptional service. You know, I know, can you guys take tips? Because it's not a place you would normally tip, right? So I feel like they should make it well known that the tip option is there because if you want to tip somebody, you can at places like Chipotle and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And it shouldn't be a mandatory thing as this, you know, kind of article is saying. Just because it's there saying you can tip doesn't mean you have to. At a restaurant, I feel like it's different. You should definitely tip because you are getting someone at, coming to your table, checking on you, doing all that shit, because you can't get up and get your own shit. But at a place that you can get up and get your own shit, you shouldn't be looked down on. It shouldn't be frowned upon if you don't tip. And maybe it's not written in bold lettering anywhere, but I still feel like you get shamed if you don't tip at a place that has tipping as an option.
They should make a living wage. If they do above and beyond, they should get above and beyond. That's what's expected out of every one of us on here on the screen. So they might call it a bonus, but that's still, you did something to get that bonus. That's above and beyond. You're expected to show up. You're expected to do X, Y, Z, whether it's networking, phone sales, whatever the hell it is. You're expected to do, this is my job. I'm doing that. I did my job. I did it well. And I did better than you thought or expected. Okay, that's a tip, AKA bonus. That's how I look at it. But if they don't make a living wage to start with and they depend on tips, I think that's bullshit. And I've done that too. I've bussed tables and they had to split their tips with me. Who knows if it's even accurate? Oh, we only made $20. Bitch, no, you didn't. This place was full, but you know what I'm saying?
And that's the other thing, the tips nowadays don't go directly to the person you're tipping. So, while you take into consideration, like Tommy said, maybe the food didn't come out great and, but that's not the server's fault. But at the same time, it's also not the busser who's giving you all the great service, but yet they still have to tip them out, like you said. So it's all just blurred lines and kind of bullshit. Like everything is gone. It's great for some people that they get extra tips but why would you ever rely on that when you never know what's coming in? Exactly. And then on top of that, you're not the one making the tip. So then you have to worry about, is this if you're a busboy, it's like, well, yeah, I'm working with the fucking bitchiest server of all time. So of course we're not getting good tips.
No lies detected.
Her name starts with a B.
Whatever her name starts with, if
worked in the mornings,
they can't sit anybody until that table's cleaned off and ready to go. And if the table's not clean enough, guess what? They already got a bad taste in their mouth before they even order anything. They all work together. I think they should make a living wage and go up from there. That's just my personal opinion. Sherry has some, but
I think people are too entitled. I mean, as a server, you should be giving good service. And if you don't give good service, you should not expect a good tip. But I think nowadays there's this expectation that tipping is automatic. And that's the problem.
It's ingrained in some of the culture.
Yeah.
But if they're making $3 an hour, yeah, you're going to want a tip because
if you're making $3 an hour, then you should give good service. If getting a tip if you depend on getting the tip to make your wage, then you should give good service. And
I depend on bonuses at work, but if our processors don't do what they're supposed to do, I didn't make that part of it. I didn't do the entire design. That's not my fault. That's the cooks in the kitchen, as an example.
Yeah.
So I'm losing money because you fucked up? That's not right.
In which case, if you have an issue with that, then you may want to rethink your current career where you don't have to rely on that.
Well, that's how, so corporations structure that into your pay. This is part of our pay program. This is what you can make. I don't do bad, obviously. I can eat off of my normal wages. But when the company fucks up and they pull your bonus, but your bonus was part of your, they call it T-comp, part of your package. Your package includes, hey, we average 10% of the quarterly. And that gets taken away. That's not my fault, but I still pay for it. So that's not fair.
Well, it's probably nobody's fault. I think every big company's doing that now so they can try to scam people out of their bonuses.
Well, yeah, I agree with that too. That's not new, but it's just gotten tighter and tighter and tighter.
Yeah.
As corporations get greedier and greedier. But that's a whole separate episode. But at the end of the day, they should be able to live off of their wage, tip or not. That's my opinion. You're out there working, you should be able to get a 1-bedroom. You should be able to eat. You should be able to get a Honda Civic.
Yeah, the tip should
that
be.
Also depends on where you live.
The tip should be like a bonus. It's above and beyond your living wage.
That's all I'm saying. The same thing. That's like, okay, you make X amount of hour, and MGYX, it depends on where you live. Of course it does. Your minimum wage there in Cali is not the same as Arizona. It's not the same as Cincinnati, where I'm from. If I sold this house and moved back home, I can get a 2-story and pay in cash probably, but it's not the same. If I'm working day to day doing my normal shit, I should be able to live a decent life. I'm not going to come up and buy fucking 3 Teslas, but I should be able to eat and live and breathe.
And I think waitresses know, like you were talking about the different restaurant kind of statuses. Like a waitress at Red Lobster knows she's not going to make as much as a waitress at Ruth Chris or something. Like they know that, you know, at least table per table, right? Like somebody at like a native New Yorker might be flipping 50 tables in a night, where at Ruth Chris, you might only have 4, you know, because people are chilling, they're sitting there. Things might take longer to cook.
Of course. And you got your high-end clients. You're not going to Ruth Chris with $20 in your pocket. Yep. That's just ignorant.
So they know off of the 4 tables at Ruth Chris, they're going to make as much as 20 tables at a native New Yorker.
But they need to be on top of their shit, too.
Right. And we're expecting it.
Exactly. I expect a different level of service there than I do at native New Yorker.
Yeah. Basically, you just need to be standing next to our table.
I mean, I don't care if you,
because sometimes people will just leave.
You need to have an eye on me. I want to feel special. If I'm going to that kind of place, I want to feel special.
Yep.
That's what I'm paying for. Otherwise, I can make a steak here and probably better.
But the only reason we left native is because MGYX said he paid the bill.
No. MGYX never got shit. MGYX left.
That sounds personal. Oh, well, I like these answers. TCL, Vizio, Samsung. I'm trying to memorize it before you blank it out.
No, I'm not going to blank it. I figured let's just rank them out.
Put me in. What are we ranking it on, though?
Just what you would prefer, your personal preference.
Oh, shit. Out of this list, give me Samsung, Sony. I'm going to do Vizio, Hisense, and TCL.
All right.
Damn, that was my list too.
That's fine. Copy it.
Yeah, I'm not even kidding.
Are damn near similar, so I'm not even surprised. I'm like, shit, run with it. Because I look at the features, I look at the sizes, and I look at the price points.
Yeah.
Since we didn't really have rules, I just kind of went by, okay, if I went to a store right now, this is what I would look at in that order. Based on this list.
Is MGYX still
Vizio.
Oh, Vizio. Okay.
Samsung.
Vizio. Well, he has Vizio.
I've had several of these. Vizio, Samsung, Sony, TCL, Hisense.
What about Tommy with the 65-inch monitor in the fucking studio?
No. I would probably go Sony first, just because I have so much Sony stuff. And then I would probably go Vizio. I think Walmart's buying Vizio.
They already did. They stepped their game up too.
Okay, yeah.
Vizio and TCL have stepped up like tremendously.
Okay. Probably can't go wrong with any of these, though. I think they're all.
Depends on what you expect.
They're all made by the same kids in China.
Pretty fun.
I put Vizio as number one because Vizio has lasted the longest out of all of the brands that I've had that were on this list.
Yeah. And I have a Philips that was hanging on our fireplace in Mesa probably for 5 years before we moved here, and we still use that TV in our family room.
Errors.
This is still the Vizio that Walmart left in my driveway when I worked at GoDaddy. And I had to fly home on the bike because they left it literally in the driveway with the branding and everything out. No plain box, just sitting right there. Like anybody could have rolled up and just jacked it.
Well, look at that quality. It's survived. All right. This ranking here is just your life. Current is number one?
Yep. Then college.
Look at you.
Then 25, 32. Then let's see, high school, and I guess grade school. Yep, I'm good with that.
I would go current 25 to 32, then high school, and then 19 to 25. That was a low point. And then grade school.
So grade school at the bottom for me.
I see a pattern.
25
Answer
to
is B.
32 as number one.
Okay.
Then current. Then college. Then high school.
I'm going to go college because this era right here in my life was all Pizza Hut years. And it was just good times. I mean, it was like the best times. Like it was just fun every night. We wanted to go to work. Like we wanted to go to work at Pizza Hut because we were all just best friends, and we knew we were going to stay after closing, get fucked up, hacky sack probably till 4 or 5 in the morning, just stupid shit.
Roll to T-Town on a whim, or
Yeah, we
Phoenix
had
on a
different
whim.
lifestyles.
Rush back to get to open.
Yep. I'm going to have to throw in grade school for me. It's weird because I lived in Okinawa for grade school, and that shit just hit different.
I got good school lunches. That's why.
I mean, that's where we had like we go off base to the toy stores and stuff where they had like all the Mech Warrior shit, all that kind of stuff, all the video games. That was all cutting edge stuff. Then I'd probably go, I don't know. Now it's a toss up for the rest of it.
Can't help that you're twice the age of what you put on here.
Yeah, I know. Maybe the last 3, I can't. It's all just, these
It's
are
a blur.
interchangeable.
It was so long ago.
The only real good times I remember was 19 to 25 in grade school. 25 to 32 was all right. But that's my errors. Brain hit them salts. Hit the salts, everybody.
I need them at this point.
Me too. Been a long day. And I don't think they're really hydrated, so it might just be a snoot full of powder.
How can you make the following equation true? This is something that if Sherry's watching, you might have to throw in something
She's
in
in
the
the
chat.
comment. She's in there. I don't know if you see that on your 900-inch screen in there.
So 5 plus 5 plus 5 is clearly not 550.
And I'm clearly not even going to try to answer this.
I got the line right here. Here we go.
It's like a division line. What are you adding onto it? What the fuck? What was that?
How can you make the
I
following
see it.
equation true by drawing only one straight line?
I didn't get to read all of it.
I knew that plus sign had to be it because it's off.
I know. I had to
was just trying to
manipulate
figure
all
out
that
how.
shit. I know those aren't real plus signs. Those are just 2 crossed lines.
Yeah.
Which bird does not belong in this group? You got to be a bird person. Finch, gull, eagle, ostrich, or sparrow? No,
Ostrich.
no. Oh, okay. It doesn't fly.
Yep.
All right. Before Mount Everest, what was discovered? What was the highest mountain on Earth?
K2.
Who? What'd you call me?
K2.
What is that?
Okay, that's not it then.
No, it was Mount Everest still. I mean, it was still the tallest mountain. It just hadn't been
wasn't
discovered yet.
Damn it. I knew there was some.
Oh, this is a rebus puzzle. I probably should have split the thing.
Doo-doo brown.
To-do list.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah.
Two
I don't know how you got
dudes.
that, but I like it.
Honey.
What you
Whatchamacallit?
call it?
Sugar cube.
I don't even know what I was just reading the chat.
I think that's one off of a sugar
Nope.
cubed, isn't it?
No, cube is 3. Is right.
Sugar times sugar times sugar.
Yeah, it's right.
Diabetes.
Okay.
Right. Eleanor. L-I.
You can tell what that picture is right there, right? That first thing.
Eyeball?
Yeah.
Ovulate.
What the fuck?
Wow.
Close. now close.
I was just like eyeball late.
All right. See if this
Yeah,
makes
you are
sense.
late.
Island.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, I guess.
Told you I'm reaching.
Fake money? No.
Oh, fuck.
Money on the nose. On the money.
Keep going. You're
I
so
smell money.
Get
close.
some money.
I smell money.
Another money saying.
What?
It's a popular money saying.
I have no money?
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
That's not a
Blew
saying.
money up your nose. Keep your nose clean.
Put
I
your
smell
money
money.
where your mouth
smell money.
is.
Oh.
See where the word money is?
Apparently, I
Yeah.
haven't drank enough to get
And I
it.
used the eyeball twice.
The eyes are
Technically
deceiving.
3 times.
Ooh,
now.
we're doing government abbreviations.
Okay, I'm going to sit this one out.
Yeah. ditto. Alphabet voice.
What's the BEP?
C?
Bureau of Environmental Protection.
Sure.
That's the Bureau of
Nope.
Engraving and Printing.
That's a real
They
thing.
create money, I guess.
Yeah, I think they do the plates.
What does CDC?
Centers for Disease Control.
Center of Disease and Control.
Centers for Disease Control.
I don't know why it's so hard to just say the letter that it is.
What is the name of Canada's primary counterintelligence agency? This is a tough one.
RCMP.
No, that's the Royal Canadian Mounted
C.
Police.
Oh, yeah.
CSIS.
Oh, I was gonna say that's also a
That's the wrong answer. That's what that is.
transaction. Is it
What's
RCMP? a network?
EPA? We all should know the EPA.
A.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that one. I've met them.
FAA.
Federal,
C.
C. Yeah.
There it is.
I left my fucking glasses in the car. C.
FBI.
E.
Yeah. That.
FCC.
A.
Hey,
A.
Okay, you guys are rolling now. Pakistan's counterintelligence.
E.
Oh, yeah.
knock.
Because you must have seen a movie with it. Because you
I-
hear
I
about
just guessed.
ISI.
I
Oh, okay.
haven't.
I figured it had something to do with ISIS.
Well, I was following E, so half the time he says something. Yeah.
I was trying not to be the one that triggered that.
Brother,
B.
what's that?
Yeah. B.
What's that, brother?
It used to be before. That's KGB was the USSR. But now it's just Russia. It's the FSB.
That's a trick question.
What's the born identity? FSB.
What's the did you say FSB? Fab Sort Building?
I don't know. I don't know if anybody knows what it stands for. It's like some weird
Hey.
Russian.
C.
I'm gonna go for
HHS.
Probably. I don't know.
Yep. A.
Oh, fuck.
It's okay. HUD.
Oh yeah. A.
A.
Oh, you guys are on it. You guys know more than you realize. Oh shit! I just gave the answer. What's the Israel? Oh shit! I tricked y'all.
Oh, what the fuck?
Damn.
You tricked your own self.
I was reading the answers and not the question. But
Read it backwards.
you hear Mossad talked about a lot, but it is their
Yeah.
foreign.
Shinbit?
Shinbit sounds like the thing on Star Trek that
E.
that religious cult NASA.
We're gonna call it B.
B.
Yep.
NTSB.
A.
C.
No. No, wait a minute. I'm not.
C.
Damn it! I tried to back out. Damn it!
Rewind.
I was trying to back out of it, but
the record is skipping.
It is.
NIH.
A.
E.
A.
Thank you.
For Big E. The United States main foreign counterintelligence agency.
Actually, no.
Yeah,
They all overlap.
B.
C A B.
How did that work out?
I don't know. I was just saying letters.
Give me all of them.
All the above. SEC. And it's not the football conference.
A.
It's A.
Met them too.
United Kingdom's domestic counterintelligence.
Oh God.
I'm gonna go with B because I like the show.
It is
I
B.
didn't even know that was a show.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's the one with Jon Snow, right?
No, dude, I'm talking about the OG show.
That's Game of
Back in the
Thrones.
day.
Oh.
I don't know none of them.
TSA, mother
I know
what?
that one. B. Actually, no. Bitch.
I was gonna say I don't even know.
I went too quick.
Gotta be faster than that.
I just assumed he was right.
Gotta be handy with the steel. You know what I mean? Earn the key.
Now he's talking.
USDA. Why is that off-centered like that?
You
Because
gave it
it's
away.
Oh, I got a couple riddles.
Riddle me this, that man.
Oh shit, I lied.
Well, you ain't got
Damn.
shit. You ain't got shit.
Solve this riddle.
Right. I can solve that right now.
Thank you. Goodbye.
And there ends the game.
That was good stuff. Good stuff. Everybody did so good. Let's see here. Let me stop this.
I don't have a fucking delay on a work computer in an office.
Oh, now I got to go to YouTube and go back to.
Oh yeah, you're YouTubulous.
There we go.
I'm going to rip your nuts off.
Yep, samples are working again.
It's starting to get cold, but I wanted to get a GRP update for the grippers out there.
No, the grippers are not a thing. It is not a thing.
I did not to apologize.
Be the Jeepers.
Nobody.
No, I am not at the moment taking any suggestions.
Jeepers, creepers, get your Jeeper on.
I called them the Kegels, but that didn't go far.
No.
No? Don't like it?
Run.
He's got to straighten his thoughts. Tomorrow night, Going Rounds podcast live. What's up, Biggie?
We need some milk.
Jesus Christ. How about now? Are we good now? We got the first event of 2025 to fight night at the fucking Apex. But if you're looking for something that makes your eyes feel real nice, you're going to be happy about this one. Mackenzie Dern versus Amanda Hebus. Go check out their Instagrams. They are fun. And and you always get a show with the fight, especially from Mackenzie Dern. So if you're into that kind of stuff, go check it out. But the fights are going to be pretty good too. I mean, it's not like a stack card or anything, but a decent card to start the year off. And then a little bit of news that we kind of touched on earlier with Dana White. So I'm going to just go into a little bit more about that. And yeah, I'm just going to cover the card really because there hasn't been a whole lot going on. And a lot of other people have been talking about that too, how it's been kind of a slow time with all this downtime. Usually some shit's popping off somewhere, and this year it's not happening. There's a lot of no news, but there is a little bit of a development with the Conor McGregor and Logan Paul fight. So I'll touch on that for a second, and then some good news about Cain Velasquez too. So little bit of everything.
Cool. I didn't see that
fun.
QR code, but
oh, there it is.
There it is. Grab that QR code, subscribe to the GRP. and catch him live tomorrow night.
At some point in the near future, I'll be on TikTok live as well. Hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's going well tonight. And I dropped the bit rate. Like I said, I dropped the broadcast bit rate to TikTok to 1,000. Actually, no, I'm lying. 750. I dropped it down really low. And it looks fine.
Yeah, it does look fine, actually. I've been watching it the whole time, and it's been good.
It's crazy that the bit rate can be sent that low, and it still looks fine. But again, people are watching on their phones, so that's probably what they're watching on YouTube too. They're probably watching on their phones.
I have it on a tablet, and it still looks good.
Okay, good deal.
Yeah, I got YouTube on the tablet.
So I noticed one thing. I know we were always talking about our bandwidth and everything. Nutty broadcasts on like a 50-50 plan. Like he has a hell of a low connection. So kind of one of the plugins I was going to post out was on that top 5 plugins of 2024. There is one that allows you to focus where on your screen your priority goes. Your priority.
That's more for gaming, though. I thought
bandwidth. No, it's for anything. So if you have a lot of stuff on the background, you can have it so that, let's say your lower thirds is playing, but you want to keep your images correct or from falling out of frame or going blurry. You can set up individual sections of your scene that keep within your frame rate. So like when Tom does the gaming and we're off to the side, he could set up so that we stay in focus or that the game stays in focus. So that's one thing you may want to look at for those that are doing are having frame drops and things like that.
I remember seeing him talk about that, and it's kind of crazy to think that you can do that. Like, we're broadcasting a stream. How does the stream being broadcast? How can you tell YouTube, or how can you say, I want this part to receive the most attention, unless you're going to give it the most attention to begin with, right? Like if you have, let's say if your stream rate is, you're uploading at 5K, 5,000 kilobytes per second or whatever it is. And right now I'm evenly distributing that 5K across my whole 1920 by 1080 screen.
Right.
So what am I going to do? Say focus 3K on the center and then 2K on everything else. Like, it doesn't really make sense to me how that works, but I guess if Nutty is using it and says it works, I'd have to trust him because he's typically giving us good information.
But is he
doing that? He doesn't have to process anything. So like right now, your GPU is focusing on your screen, my screen, and an E screen, not on Infinity's, because nothing is changing. The pixels remain the same. Now that Infinity's back, it's got to focus on him moving. Or if we all start making a whole bunch of movements, it's got to try and keep up with all that. Versus saying, hey, I want to focus on these 4 people or these 4 sections or this one section on my screen, not on everything else. So it's literally, it is focusing the priority of where your video or your
moving.
GPU is. Yeah, it's on what's moving. It's kind of like one of the things like when we were doing tech support for video, people would say, well, this is going bad because I can watch Game of Thrones and it works fine. But as soon as I go to something that has a brighter screen, it starts pixelating. That's because it's got to keep up with the bandwidth of everything else it sees. But if you just have a screen that's 60% black, you don't have to change anything. That was me.
What's that noise?
That was something.
I thought I heard
that
like
was a truck.
Dragon. Oh, okay.
It was a truck outside.
Oh,
a lot of Nutty stuff is pre-recorded too, though. That's a different type of processing.
So for me, it would be like one of the suggestions that and this is why I brought it up, and Finney kind of brought this up as well. Like when I have a scene that is focused on, let's say this, I want the majority of the imaging processing to be in the center of my screen, not on me. because I'm not really moving, but I want people to see my gameplay. If I just have it right now, there are some times where if I'm playing a multiplayer match or anything like that, and there's just a lot of explosions and shit going on, it will get blurry. I've gone back and seen it slowly pixelate because it's trying to keep up with everything on the screen versus just focusing on one section. So that's what I was saying. If you got a lot of images, and he says it's for a lot of people that have a lot of shit going on in your screen, a lot of images, a lot of graphics going on. You got pop-ups or little people that do the avatars and shit like that. Hell, even if you got a lot of lower thirds going on, you may want to deprioritize those lower thirds and focus more on yourself. Or like I know you show a lot of GIFs and like small clips. You may want that area of focus on that particular scene and not so much on your lower thirds or even on yourself, so that part doesn't get blurred out.
Yeah, I would never use it. I don't have a problem. So and also, I mean, I'm like, I kind of want everything to work. So I would never prioritize anything because I want it all to work. I want everything to look good. So I'd rather focus my energy on that.
So the other reason why I brought that up is, and you just mentioned it, doing the multi-stream, is if you're multi-streaming, you're splitting your bandwidth going to two different sources. So that may also be a good reason to have it, so that you are prioritizing where it's focusing on. So if you're doing a multi-stream out with ATM, because ATM uses your computer, your processing, your network, you're not going to restream, who then relays that information. You're pushing it all out yourself. That way, you're not just spreading all of your bandwidth to everywhere and getting mid quality or low quality. You're able to prioritize what goes out so it looks high quality.
Well, what I'm curious is if I got away with 750 on TikTok right now with this stream and it looks good, what would 500 look like? Or what would even dropping YouTube down? Because right now I'm going 3,000 to YouTube, which I used to think was low.
It's low, but it looks good because I have YouTube in my corner right here.
If 3,000 to YouTube and 750 to TikTok is looking good, I wonder how much lower we can push that. And I think I'm just using H.264. I'm not even using H.265 because TikTok doesn't support H.265. So I switched. I actually used to go to YouTube with H.265, but I wanted to keep the same encoder for both streams to minimize my CPU. So
you're on the M4 now, so maybe you could use some more of it.
Yeah. Well, I have the same encoder. I'm just using the same encoder in the ATM settings. Like it gives you the choice. What encoder do you want to use? And so I have it using
external video mixer too. So yours is completely different than us three.
So that was weird. Anybody else got an echo?
There's been an echo throughout the whole show.
I didn't notice that, but I'm not listening.
All right. So,
and shout out to Big Mike if he's still on TikTok. I saw him join in TikTok. What up, Mike D?
One of the things that we always looked at was drop frames and the bandwidth usage and CPU usage in OBS.
Yep.
One of the things, again, shout out to Nutty for this tidbit. We should be focusing on the average time to render frames, because that's what's going to draw your CPU up, as well as cause network issues, congestion. So that's why I suggested that profiler, because he said when you run that program and you start dropping scenes and shit like that, you'll notice that your average time to render frames will drop down.
I think that's good. That's good for troubleshooting. Like if I had a bad episode on YouTube, I would immediately go download those troubleshooting items and figure out what the hell's wrong. But luckily, I haven't had. Ever since I replaced that those problems I had in my network flow, and I'm still probably going to get a new router and a new mesh system soon. But
did you look at that Orbi that I sent you?
Yeah, I have that on the list. I got a couple. I crossed TP-Link off the list. I'm not going to get anything TP-Link.
Don't do that.
And they're possibly going to get banned anyway because some weird stuff going on with TP-Link. Yeah. Like supposedly they might have left back doors open in all their networking gear.
Oh, not supposedly they did.
Yeah. Their shit's easy to hack.
So you guys were talking about Wi-Fi 7 like 2 weeks ago. I switched to that. I have Wi-Fi 7. I'm hardwired in here, but the rest of the house is Wi-Fi 7.
Yeah.
And if you notice, I should have been super clear the entire time because I had them come out since I knew there was an issue, obviously. Long story short, about 3 different splitters, barrel connectors, and I'm at plus 14 dB from the street to the house.
There you go.
So
yeah,
I've had no issue. I'm doing 114 up, 1192 down.
Something weird going on with my speed test. I just did a speed test out here, and I got like 715 down and 625 up.
That's impossible on cable.
That's what I thought. I even double checked my account. It says Spectrum does not support more than 40 megabytes up.
It's 100 to 120 on cable is about max up, unless you go fiber.
Yeah, well, Spectrum doesn't even offer that yet. So we're still 40 up max.
That they're just trying to look at what you got. Look, stay with us.
Yeah, so I don't know why it's doing that. All right.
I did a test before we logged in. I was 111 up.
Yeah, that's good. I wish I can get that. Well, I wish I could truly get that because I know I'm not getting no 670 up. All right, don't forget GRP tomorrow night. Grab
Jeepers.
that QR, and I guess we will be back here
Sponsored by Noctane.
Sunday night. And there's no, you're not doing anything on Fight Night, right?
No, not till next week.
Okay.
The 18th is the pay-per-view. I only do watch parties for the pay-per-view, so I'll be doing one then, showcasing the new setup in the room.
I did have a question for us, and possibly for our guests. How do you feel about doing a Super Bowl episode?
I was going to ask the same thing, actually. And I was going to move your mic telepathically.
When is the Super Bowl? I don't even know.
February 9th.
Oh.
February 9th? We could probably do that.
It's a Sunday, right?
Want to do like
but
a
Super Bowls are so
or...
long, though. That's the problem with the Super Bowl. It runs like 5 hours. It would have to, if we did a stream, it would just have to be a very casual, because we're going to be eating. I mean,
that's okay. I'm actually curious in doing that.
Just literally just set it up as it starts. I mean, we don't have to. We're not going to be streaming the Super Bowl.
I wouldn't mind trying to host it either. I'm very open to it because I already took it off. I put it on the calendar. So we're not streaming it per se, but everybody can get it. Like that, they don't have to have pay-per-view or certain channels to get it.
Yeah,
I can watch it on my TV. I see
your face. What you thinking?
No, I put my TV in here now, so I can watch it on my TV.
I saw you doing that on Thursday. I was like, "What the fuck are you looking at?" There's something
what
up
network
there.
is it on?
The what network?
Wait, is it on CBS or Fox? Who's hosting it?
It's on like every major station. I don't know the exact one, but it's on several. Because I could stream it to us. I could plug my Fire Stick. Or actually, I could log into my account and I could play it for us.
Oh, right.
But
Big E does the fights.
Yeah, I could do the same thing.
No, he doesn't. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Dana. He doesn't do that.
He doesn't. He tells
the
us
Jeepers don't do that kind of thing.
But I'm very, very interested in that. I wouldn't mind hosting it, setting up a scene, trying it out a couple days before.
Yeah, we can do that.
21, I don't care. Because I don't have to be in front of this damn thing for 4 hours.
Well, you got it. What's the date today? So what is that, like 3 weeks away?
Today is the 8th.
Month away.
It's a little over a month.
Okay.
A month and a day.
Well, you got your channel all set up and everything, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But it doesn't have to be my channel. I'm open to whatever. But I'm down to do it. Join it.
If you're hosting, we should just jump on your channel.
I'm fine, but I'd like to test it before that day. Because I don't have a scene for everybody. But I'll make one.
Yeah, we can do that. All right. Cool.
But I'm interested because there's always going to be someone in front of the camera, whether you're peeing, eating snacks, got family in there, whatever. I'm interested. I'm very interested.
Sounds good. That's the plan. All right. Stay tuned for updates on the Infinity Super Bowl watch party. I don't know who the sponsor is. Don't we have to say like the brand name before that, like Tostitos?
No, you can't say Super Bowl.
Right. We can.
The
We
big
got to call it
game.
the big game.
Big
Yeah.
game. Yep.
Fuck that. It's the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
We
it
ain't
is while we're
sponsored.
talking. But I'm not putting that in the comments. It'll be the big game.
Yep. All right. Well, I'm headed inside to warm up, and we'll catch you back here Sunday night. Tech-Tuppers, thanks for tuning in, and peace out.
Take care. Appreciate it.
Adios. Arrivederci. Nakamasa Bisa.
I have no bunghole.